Sadly, this week, the deaf community lost 2 people through suicide. It seems to be happening more often. It's a hard issue because people don't like to discuss it. They feel guilty, sad, upset. Just several emotions are evoked for this issue when discussing this issue. Suicide affects about 25% of people, and that percentage never shows any signs of themselves being depressed. It just happens, and nobody knows why. Now, the other side, 75% of people will show symptoms, warning signs. And if you look on the internet, you can find many lists of the different warning signs of suicide. Depression, if you suggest them go to the hospital, they refuse to go to the hospital. Maybe they have severe mood swings. Drinking could also be a warning sign. And if you notice that they're giving away their personal belongings, or they start to kind of remove themselves from society, that might be a warning sign. Maybe if they start saying, focusing on death and that they hate life and that they don't want to live anymore, and start saying that is a warning sign as well. Now, how do you prevent this? Maybe if you hear more of this and your friends or your family start exhibiting these warning signs, then ask them, start talking to them. Asking them about the things that they're saying. Why are you saying this? What do you mean? Are you serious about this? And if they say, oh no, I wish, but I would never do that, I wouldn't do that, then, often people are afraid to ask these questions, that they might provoke an idea for them to kill themselves. But most of the time, they're already thinking of this. And thinking that you don't want to put that idea in their head if they aren't thinking of it. Now, if they mention it every once in a while, most of the time they aren't serious. But if they're continuously exhibiting these warning signs, something needs to be done. And most people don't know how. What am I supposed to do to help? So there's maybe ask them if they're taking their medication. If they mention that they want to shoot themselves, asking them if they have a gun, asking about their plans. Because if they're serious, then more than likely they have a plan on how they're going to do it. And you can take advantage of this time and get involved and try and discuss it with them and ask them if they want to go to the hospital. Now, if they say that they don't want to go to the hospital and they're refusing to go, and you're still very concerned, then you need to discuss this with them, and they'll probably tell you that they don't want their family or friends to know, and that they're serious and they don't want people to know about the situation. But you may need to break the confidentiality and tell someone, because you don't want to keep a secret. You don't want something to happen, especially if you ask them that, if they're serious, and if you feel in your gut that they are serious and that you believe them, especially if you're talking with them and they are refusing help. Maybe you could contact their friends and family. Maybe you could spend the night with them. If you're trying to contact them and they won't, and they're not answering the phone, not answering the door, then it's probably a good idea to go ahead and contact the police and the authorities. You can give them their address and call 911 and give 911 the address, and that way maybe they can go over to their house and check and make sure if everything's okay. Now, most of the people are like, I don't want to. If most people think that they don't want to call 911 because it'll create tension and upset the person, and but if you think about it, would you rather them be mad and later you can resolve the issue, because obviously you care about them, and not having to deal with the fact that you didn't say anything and they died? The other issue this brings up is if you take them to the hospital, where do you take them? A hospital that might, because your friend is deaf, you know, is there a counselor that can relate to this deaf person? Do they bring an interpreter in? Will they bring an interpreter in? That's definitely an issue that the deaf community fights. And right now, there is there are some cases going on with MOs to help improve the services for deaf people for that situation. There's not enough reason, you know, friends and family, you know, that's better than nothing as far as help goes. There's no reason to not say anything just because you feel that the hospital might not give adequate services. And so you all know it's not an easy thing. You can't really protect someone from killing themselves. And if someone really wants to do it, then they'll find a way. And remember, it's not your fault. It's important that you remember that. But if you see the opportunity to intervene, to help, then do it. Take advantage of that opportunity.